Hi guys, welcome back. Sorry this is late. If you follow me on Twitter, you know that I said this was going to be later because I had a couple of things I needed to do before I could record this, and I still have a couple of things I need to do, but I'm recording this now so that I can actually film it because, yeah. We won Conference League. We are 2 for 2. 99.9% sure we are top of the table now. 4-1. It felt routine. I can't lie. I'm gonna keep this nice and simple because I feel like that's what it was tonight. It was nice and simple. Got the 3 points, scored the goals, and we move on. And yeah, I mean, still made 11 changes from the starting lineup on Sunday, which was, I think it's so, what's the word? It's so like nice that we can still do that despite rotating because of suspensions at the weekend, that we can still go on and make 11 changes and we can get minutes back into the legs of Kukurea, and it just, yeah, it was nice and routine. It felt routine, and honestly, Misha had a fantastic game. For me, the easily player of the match. 3 GA altogether, 1 goal, 2 assists. It was a clinic. It was us the best we've seen him since probably his debut. I think the way Maresca has managed him, the way that he's kind of been a little individual project for Maresca in the way of trying to build him back up and, not shoving him out onto the pitch, just slowly nurturing him and he's the type of player that he needs the arm around, he needs the confidence, and he needs, but I think he's got that with Maresca. I think we're slowly building up, and the left wing spot for me has always been the one that's kind of still been in contention, and to me he's put in a very good case for himself. Apparently he had a bit of ice around his knee, knee or ankle, and I can't remember which one off the top of my head, but so who knows if he'll be in the squad at the weekend, but to me he's put in a very good case for himself. And it's not to say that Sancho's been bad, but Sancho has had a little bit of a drop off. He got a couple of assists when he first joined, and he looked really bright. But Misha's now stepping up and going, I've also got a case to make, and that's what the 2 squad idea that Maresca has got here is gonna do. It's like Joe Felix, from the top of my head, if I remember correctly, barely played against Liverpool, or didn't play, one or the other, and yet he gets 2 goals today. I think people laugh at the size of our squad or whatever, but the squad depth we have is actually kind of stupid for the competition that we're in. Let's be very clear cut and honest about that. I think this is the squad depth you want for the Champions League. It's stupid to have the squad depth for the Conference League. I think we're in a very good position to keep going like this all season long. Whether people, want to believe it or not, I think we will get to a point where we have to start using our bigger players. But I don't see maybe in the final, but from what I'm seeing right now, we've got our hardest away game out the way, and we still won 4-1, and we didn't travel with a lot of our key players. Levi stayed at home, Moises stayed at home, Cole obviously stayed, Wes obviously stayed. Like, a lot of our big players just didn't travel. I think Lavia stayed because he's also not in the squad. Like, I don't I don't know what to say, because it's actually kind of stupid at this point that we're able to do this with the squad that we have. we're able to give Tyreek George minutes consistently now in the Conference League. It's becoming a thing of we can score the goals that we need to score to get him on. I think had we not conceded, we would have probably seen debuts for the other two academy boys, but we conceded, and that's an issue we do need to sort out. I wouldn't say my issue with it is Disasi. And it's not even like he was bad. Like he had to me, they had him and Benoit. Speaking of Benoit, him for the last 2 games, amazing, back to his old self. It's great to see. But I don't even think Axel had a bad game. Like he's probably at fault for the goal, yes, but that's the only bad thing I can remember. Like Renato almost chucked it into his own net. But again, those were the only 2 moments like that looked shaky at the back. I think when people say that having 2 11s is bad because you can't build up consistency or cohesion, or I think it's the 2 11s kind of build up their own cohesion. And with the subs that you make, you know, for example, some of the B team, which is insane, some of the B team will come on, you know, during Prem games, but they can almost kind of change how they play to work into the different teams. And I think it's just they kind of have their own cohesion. You know that Nico, Cole and Noni are all going to link up well in squad A, but you also kind of know that Misha, Zhao and Crystal are kind of going to link up well. Even Pedro, like they're going to link up well in squad B. Like, you just know that, and I think it's the biggest blessing to have, because it's going to be a long season. I don't think people really realise how long of a season this is going to be for us, because it's going to drag into the summer, and that's why we have the 2 squads. Like, we are in a position where it's going to be long, because we have to go into the summer to go and do the Club World Cup, and we're not going to have a big break. I think it's only going to be a couple weeks, if that. And if I remember correctly, I think I read there's a potential international break in between that, in which I hope Chelsea go, fuck you, because no, we can't have the season we're going to have, a little tiny ass break, which will be turned into an international break, but then we've got to send players off 2 weeks later. Like, no. That will be the one where I expect Chelsea to go, no players getting released to their squads. Sorry, you're staying here because we have competition to go to in America in 2 weeks' time. I remember reading that, and I remember thinking that is so inconsiderate to all of the European teams that are about to go, to all the teams in general that have that fucking competition. And we're also just going to barely have a break as well afterwards. Like, our break is going to be shorter because of this competition. So when people say that we have a massive squad, yeah, because it's going to be basically 2 seasons joined into one. This is going to be kind of what the 21, season was, where it was like you had the Euros and it was just so jam-packed and they had barely any break. Yeah, we're going to have that. And there's a reason we need a massive squad, and there's a reason that when you think about it, Estiavo coming in and Paez coming in and Santos coming back and all of this, like, all the players that we have are going to be so key over the next 12 months. Whether they're in the squad yet or not, they all have to play their part in some way, and they're all going to play a part. And I think Maresca's man management so far, and we're not even into December yet, not even into November yet, but just the way that we're managing things and we're protecting players. When I compare it to other clubs right now, it's such a blessing, because it's something that we've not done in the longest time. We've not protected our players. Stupid friendlies before finals that gets Ruben Loftus-Cheek injured and ruins his Chelsea career. Callum Hudson-Odoi getting overused young. Mason Mount getting overused young, Kante having to play on injections, Reece James, Ben Chilwell getting drained by Tuchel at wing back. year after year after year, I have watched our players break down because there's been no management, there's been no squad building that has allowed our key players to be able to rest. It's the one thing, and also rearranging the medical department, thank God, but those two things combined, Clear Lake, thank you, because we can now protect our players, and they're all young, and that's the very important thing, is a young squad. The second you overuse a young player, you destroy them very early on. And it's just so key that Maresca has seen that and has gone, yeah, Cole, you had a long season last season. You were very important, barely got a rest. You had a long summer. You're not going to play the Conference League until January. It might even be February when the knockouts kick in. You're not going to play until then. And Cole's went, fine by me. That's the way it should be. Like, Fofana coming off an ACL, having a long-ass season where he's had to recover, and this is after his broken leg as well. He needs to take the time to play one game a week, build up the fitness, and if we're in a position where we need to play him in the knockouts, then we do, because he's had the first half of the season to rest. Lavia as well, he's had a long season with injury last season. He's come back now, and he's going to be so key, because to me that midfield is going to be him, Moises, and I'll have that conversation another time on who I think the third one's going to be in the future. Won't have that conversation now, but him and Moises are the body of that midfield going forward, and we need him. So again, rest him until February. I've gone on a massive tangent and not even talked about the game anymore, but I just don't care. Like, I think I need to sing the praises of Clear Lake at this moment in time, because it's starting to pay off massively. The football we were playing tonight, just a little, touch on. Yeah. That's what the B squads, yeah. Most of the build up today was absolutely gorgeous to watch. I think it's just insane that we can do that with a B team. And we're still giving the young players minutes. Like, technically, Gu's a young player. He should really be on a loan, but I won't talk on that. It's nice to see Tyreek get minutes. It would have had the cherry been on the cake if Josh would have been here, and I've not talked about that situation yet, so I guess I'll briefly talk on. I think clearly whoever is in his ear at the moment, and with what Enzo said in his presser yesterday, it's very interesting to me that he had said, and it's been reported, the club there was a contract. Enzo has talked to the player, he wants the player, he likes the player, and yet the contract's not been signed, so who is in his ear? Clearly it's either, someone's saying Madrid's interested, but, well, we know that these big clubs are fucking interested in him because we have an elite academy, but we've been there. I think it's very interesting to me that these young players now demand a pathway when, your club captain is in your position. Malo Gusto is only 21. Why can't you put your head down and work? I don't know. But anyway, good win. We move. We go to Newcastle at the weekend. We don't go to Newcastle, actually. We do that in the cup come next midweek. We're about to have the maddest little turnaround. Playing Newcastle twice in the span of like 4 days is going to be wild. But we play Newcastle in the league at home, and then we go Newcastle away in the League Cup. So I expect 11 changes again, to be very fair. I don't see how we can't do that. Probably 10, because I think Cucurella comes back in, but I don't know. Anyway, it's a blessing in disguise. I kind of love it. Hopefully we get 3 points at the weekend. I think it's going to be necessary to bounce back from Anfield, even though we didn't play bad at all. But yeah, anyway. Sorry, just had to take a break there for a second. Anyway, I don't remember what I was saying off the top of my head, so I'm just going to wrap this up. I feel like I rambled far too much and didn't really talk about the game. Good game. Routine win, we move. Okay? Yeah, got it? Okay, perfect. I will not see you at the weekend. We play on Sunday, don't we? No. Sorry. again, like we've discussed, I'm always on opens on Sunday. It actually just ruins the vibe. And I'm also there we go. I was gonna say I look very red. I know this is red, but I will probably be back, hopefully, next for the cup game, hopefully. I don't have my role for next week, so I'll keep you updated on that one. But hopefully I'll be back for the cup game, and yeah, hopefully we get 3 points at the weekend, fingers crossed. Follow on my socials, do all that fun stuff, you know. Okay, my light said no. My phone said no. This just turned into an absolute mess. I love that. Well, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Up the Chelsea, I guess. This just took a turn. I'll see you guys later.